Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's March 18th of 2023, and it's 5:30 a.m. in the morning. Uh, I've got my new uh, Verizon internet service, but it's just working right now for this room. It's in this room, and it's working for my computer and my cell phone. Um, I just signed up for voice over IP for Darlene's phone line that she has coming in here with uh, our internet service provider. So we're going to have that internet service provider and this new one until her phone gets switched over. And what else has to happen? So it's probably going to be, I don't know, today's the 18th, um, maybe 9 days, 10 days, I'm not sure. Get her, she wants to keep her number. And so I've already done that, hopefully correct. So two of my videos recently, uh, doing something strange, something strange. If you watched them, you know what it is. I'm tempted to delete them, but on the other hand, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. I'm not sure what the reason is. I suspect a couple things, but um, I think let's see, let me show you. I think in a couple days I'm going to go ahead and order this in. And I'm still going to try to work on the problem. And I'm not ordering this because but I'm going to order this in probably in a couple of days, have it come in. So I'm not um, real upset about this and I don't know what it is, but I think I do. Okay, I ordered one of these before, and I'm not sure it was the same, company that this one that I'm ordering from. Um, but last time I did two or three people, maybe more, not very many, jumped in and made a recommendation of, why don't you, go with this one. Now I'm a poor man, so don't say, well, you ought to get this $1,000, or even, don't say, well, okay, this other one's only $100 more, or whatever. I'm a poor man. What's that movie, Fiddler on the Roof? With Tobacco or whoever, That sounds like Star Wars. No, but anyway. But, if you have time and you want to help out, take a look at this. And maybe there's something for a few dollars more, or maybe the same price, but you think maybe, why don't you go with this other one? Please feel free to make a recommendation. I appreciate it. A couple items that I've ordered recently, your input has helped a lot. I think of, a lot of people don't need your help. I do. Anyway, and even though you're all a bunch of whippersnappers, I'm not afraid to admit that I can use help and appreciate it. Part of it with me, I'm here in a few days, I'm going to be 82. Yeah, I forgot what I was, that proof that I'm 82, going to be 82. I have quite a bit of stuff here. I think you can even see it, and let's see, some of it. These over here are 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 4 of those. They're filled with stuff. My closet is filled with stuff, computer stuff, and there's stuff on the floor, all kinds of stuff. So I have a lot of stuff that I can, add to this new computer when it comes in. I've given a lot of stuff away, but I still have a lot of stuff. I think most everything, just about everything, I got a whole bunch of stuff when I was doing Amazon reviews, and a lot of stuff. And I gave most all of that stuff away, a lot. Now, a lot of this other stuff that I've got is stuff that, I paid for, that I thought I needed, or at the time seemed like a good idea. So what right now I'm fighting is I rearranged things in here because I didn't know which window I was going to put the voice over IP. That's not voice over IP. The internet thing from Verizon. And so I actually I'm surprised I opened up some room. So now, I'm thinking, maybe I should move my desk over here. Maybe I should do this or do that or whatever. And please, I guess offer up a little prayer that I don't do it. This is working okay for me. But, so let's see, what else is going on? Please subscribe and give a thumbs up if you want to. Oh, I've got a whole ton of photographs from, Okay, that's my, see if there's a date back here. They usually date these pictures, right? It may have faded. Well, that's my oldest daughter and my youngest child. You see there on your screen, see the computer monitor? That's a Radio Shack Model 1 computer with a special thing that I purchased that created from 4K of memory up to 48K of memory. And I'm not sure if that, I'm not sure if I had the Electron stringy floppy devices. I had 4 of those because in order, when you got the Radio Shack Model 1 computer with 4K of memory, and that's because that's all they had, and the BIOS was 4K. Right, they came out with it, and they didn't, so it took a little bit before they had where you could upgrade your memory and your BIOS a little bit. But if you wanted a hard drive, I'm not talking about a I'm talking about a floppy drive. And they weren't 780K, it was 360K. In order to get one of those for your Radio Shack or more, you had to spend, I think it was $350 for the box that went underneath it. $350 for the box, and I don't think it did anything else, and except you could plug in some additional memory, and you could plug in a floppy drive, not a hard drive. Well, I guess if you had a hard drive, you could. But so I went with a different route, but I still didn't. This was, and I was using these floppy drive type things, small little tape unit, size of a business card, and I had 4 of them, and you had some code that you had to use to tell it, what to do in the PBS program that I wrote, and it was kind of neat, considering I couldn't afford $350 for the box, their box, and then $350 for their floppy drive. But I could do things like when I wrote my code for my BBS program, I could tell it by a number or whatever, after the command and then a number to write to, Ectron stringy floppy unit 1 to 2 or 3 or 4, so I could have that information go. And then when I was reading the information in to display it on the screen for people, I could tell it to bring in, whatever, and that was all faster and everything. And stuff we did, but it was fun back in those days, but expensive. Back about that time, in fact, before I had my computer, I had a Texas Instrument calculator, TI-58, if I remember correctly. Calculator. And you could play games. You could actually play some games on it, but nothing, when I'm saying games, no, talking about, you could try to, by pushing a couple, you could land a satellite, or you could land a ship on the moon. You could do a few other things like that. You could write your own, though, so maybe that was my first computer, really. But I forget. I have it written down on paper someplace, and I think sometime I'm going to put it up here for you all. Not that you care, you young whippersnappers. But I got a printer for it, and I think the printer was like $600 or something like that, maybe more, for the printer for a calculator. Of course, it with X's and zeros or something, you could print out a little face or something. Oh God. If I yeah, I have a list. I need to scan that and put it, make it available someplace in one video, just so you could see what the pioneers, what we did for you guys to make things, to give you what you got now. So anyway, again, I'll make the appeal if you... Now, I've got some SSD drives, by the way. that's what I'm talking about is, already, unused. Um, I've got some memory, DDR4 memory. I'm not sure if it's compatible, and I'm not sure what the not sure how it not sure how it would work, but I have stuff like that because I upgraded various products, with so. Okay, what else? Um, guess that's it. Except, wait a minute. I want to get these pictures put, but I'm not going to be able to. I should have started many years ago. This is a wedding picture. I'm the skinny guy next to the blonde with the crutches. And on my right in that picture is her father. He owned a tavern. And standing next to her is my father. He was a union representative. Well, started out in 1941 as a boilermaker, a welder, and worked as a boilermaker all his life until he got elected as a union official with the I'm going to show a couple pictures if you guys want to go ahead and bail. I think I showed this before. Whoops. Okay, that's my mother's father. And that's me. That's our dog. And this is my father. And I remember when this picture was taken. Okay, it doesn't have the date on it either. But my mother's father was staying with us for a few days. And I remember her coming in with her camera. She liked to take pictures too. I remember her coming in with the camera and my father not wanting his picture taken because my grandfather here was a member of the Klan back when a whole bunch of white American men were members of the Klan, and he refused to. Her father refused to go to the wedding because it was a Catholic wedding, and there was some other things. My father did not like him at all, and you could tell. And I'm not sure. I think probably. Yeah, I think I probably didn't understand because I don't think I found out till later the thing. But I did see, and here's some place. I'm not sure if I think I scanned a little bit of them that way back someplace. You'll never find them, and I'm not even sure it's still online. I did see that when I was born or whatever, my grandfather, he did show up, at the, so it wasn't a Catholic. Here's my dog Spook, really, a Labrador Retriever. We had her a long time. That's my ham radio setup. Well, it wasn't a ham radio then, it was my shortwave listening setup. The Helicopter's SX99, if I remember correctly. And you can't really tell there's QSL cards on the wall there. I wish I had those cards. Here I was in the Boy Scouts. I was only in the Boy Scouts for a short period of time. At that age, my parents would go to, bars, and they would take me. And in the beginning, a lot of times, I got in. I mean, and you really weren't supposed to take minors into a bar. But so then they'd leave me in the car. I mean, I wasn't a baby or anything, but still. And I had a tendency back then for a few years, I'd get nosebleeds. And I can remember once getting in the car, and my parents were in the bar, and my nose started bleeding, and a guy came out. I forget now what he was, if he was a baker. He had on the white. He was either a butcher or a baker or something like that. He came out and gave me something to hold over my nose. But when I became a Boy Scout, I told my mother and father, "No, I'm a Boy Scout now. I can't be going in a bar," and I stayed at home. Here's my father outside Conception Cemetery, and it was after grade school, and he and Oscar Huber, his friend, they went to the seminary. That's my father standing outside of the cemetery. My father bailed out. He didn't. Here is my father. Let's see, make sure, is that my father? Yeah. The tall man with the white shirt, that's his oldest brother. My father's oldest brother. In the middle is their mother. And I'm there, the taller of the two boys. And the other boy is Davis, Billy Davis. And I went on to be a security guard at hospitals for 30 years, and he went on to become a doctor. And he was a year younger than I was, but he was 1 year ahead of me in high school. In high school, we both went to the same Catholic military high school, and I graduated a sergeant, and he graduated, I don't know, lieutenant colonel or something, I don't know who the boy in front of that is. Okay, one more. I keep uncovering these, and okay, but it's going to be one more. Here I am. You didn't know that, you didn't know I was a cowboy, did you? Back in the olden days, you young whippersnappers wouldn't know this, before television and before the World Wide Web and the Internet and all that kind of stuff, there were people that had a business. They had I don't know how many, pony, maybe one, or maybe have several, and they had and they'd go into neighborhoods and go knock on the door, and would you like your son or daughter to have their picture taken? And people would pay, and then they'd get that. That was the good old days before you young whippersnappers came around. Anyway, speaking of young whippersnappers, I don't know if you can hear the trance music in the background, which I do happen to like, by the way. But that's my son in his room playing it, not playing it, well, getting it from his computer. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.